Hey, welcome back. This is video 2. So what I'm going to do is I've already created a GitHub repository so you can follow along and have access to all the code. If you're not familiar with GitHub, this is how I'm going to do it. Each branch, there's going to be a branch for each tutorial, each video. So you can just click on this and you'll get a drop down, and eventually there'll be a huge list of all the different videos. So the first one's up, and it's going to have a little summary of each video, and then it's going to have some important links to different stuff if you want more information. And then the link to this repo is going to be in the YouTube channel underneath the video. All right, so in this video, we're going to set up the basics of our backend server here. And you can find all this stuff in the docs. And you go down to Express. So I'll copy these two. You'll probably notice I don't like semicolons, and so I don't use them. Okay, so we brought in body parser, and we brought in graphical express, and now we're saying server.use, and this is when it gets the endpoint graphical. It's going to use the body parser and a function on that called JSON. So that's basically going to turn all the information that passes through there to JSON, which is just JavaScript, an object notation where you can view things as JSON. And then it's going to execute the graphical express function on something called a schema. And we're going to have to create a schema. So what I'm going to do is we'll make a new folder, and we'll call it schemas. We'll make a new file in there. We'll call it user.js. And there we'll say export default, and we'll do backticks. And everything we do is going to be inside these backticks. For now, we'll just say type user and make an object. And we'll say ID is of type capital I, capital D. That's a GraphQL type right there. And we'll say username is a string. Put an exclamation point after these. That means it's non-nullable, meaning when we ask for this information later, it has to return something to us. It can't return null. Basically saying that these properties are required of the user. Right now, we'll just use those two. And the schema is just laying out for graphical what your different objects are going to look like, basically. And they're called types. So our user type is going to have an ID and a username. And we're going to create another folder, and we're going to call this folder resolvers. We're going to make a new file. We're going to also call this user.js. And here, we're going to say export default, and it's going to be an object. Back in users, go down and we'll do a query. Inside query, we'll say get user parentheses, and we'll say user ID as of type ID, colon user. So that's basically saying we're going to have a query which takes a user ID and gives us a user. Save that. Back to our resolvers. In resolvers, we'll say query. We'll say get user, colon, and in here it's going to be a function. And the function is going to be of root args context. And that's going to return something to us. And in this example, it's just going to return what we tell it to. Up here we'll say class users equals an array. ID1 ID2 in our resolver we'll say users, so users.find u.id equals args.user ID. You know what, let's make this an int. Instead of an ID, we'll make this an int just to make sure we don't have to parse an int or anything like that. So basically for now, we're just going to set it up to where we don't have anything in a database. We just create our own user thing here, user array here, and our own query. This is just to test out our GraphQL. And we're going to use a tool called Graphical for that. And Graphical is a graphic user interface that you can use with your GraphQL server. And that comes as part of the Apollo Server Express package. It looks similar to the other import we had, but it's different. There's Graphical Express and GraphQL Express. And in the next video, we'll set up Graphical Express with our schema, and we'll actually see GraphQL in action. And that's coming up in a few minutes.